Hello everyone in the Secrets to Sleep Baby and Toddler Sleep Help group. My name is Courtney. I am your host. I am a pediatric sleep consultant and I'm here to help you get a great night of sleep. I just wanted to share a little client story with a toddler that was struggling with bedtime, okay? This is very common. This is one, group of people I tend to work with a lot is toddlers that are just throwing like bedtime, explosions, okay? So I'll give you some of the basics without kind of sharing too much about this family. But okay, this toddler was taking forever to go to sleep at night, bedtime battles, tears, no, I don't want daddy to do bedtime. I want mommy. I want, mommy back in the room. I need extra books. All of the things. I call it toddler shenanigans, okay? This toddler was doing all the things and bedtime just took so long and it was always like this, just like crying, screaming battle, okay? The toddler was also waking up in the night because they wanted, so I call it parental presence, okay? So they didn't want to just fall asleep in their, in their bed at nighttime, and they didn't want, when they woke up in the night, they would want their parent to be present. So they run into mom and dad's room. It would be loud, it would wake up the new baby, and they would want mom or dad to be there, possibly hop into bed with them while they fall back asleep. And then the next would be, naps, would just be refusing naps, okay? I told this family, so we started to work together. I have something called like a toddler half package. So this is for what I consider mild toddler sleep challenges. To me, mild would be something like they want parental presence as opposed to a baby or toddler that is still waking up, maybe to be breastfed back to sleep or to be, rocked back to sleep, something like that. That's not necessarily like a mild challenge anymore because there's just, more steps that need to be done. But if you have a toddler with mild challenges, such as they just want you to be present while they fall asleep, we can work on that. I have a toddler half package. Send me the DM, toddler half package, and we can talk about how you can solve your toddler's problems in sleep problems in a week and a half, okay? So this family, we went in, we did, a 1-hour consultation. We put a plan in place, and I said, it's going to be 3 days that are going to be rough, but it's going to solve it. Okay, this is just my guess. It's not going to be the same, necessarily for every family, but this is something that I've noticed a trend of, is that toddlers throw big temper tantrums, but they learn quickly too. Okay, if they learn that like it's not going to work anymore, I can't get my way. The first day, they're going to throw a huge explosive temper tantrum. You can always attend to your baby or your toddler, but we don't necessarily need to give in to what it is that they want, okay? So you can be there and you can hug them and you can be there for them without actually giving them exactly what they're asking. That's one way I really like to go about it, okay? So day one, huge explosive, temper tantrum. Your child's not going to like that you're not giving them whatever they want. Day two, big temper tantrum. Day three, it's going to be bad, right? But I feel like this is the day that they're like, okay, I just really need to give it one last shot and see if it's going to go back to the way it was. Because I still remember that I used to always do that and it used to always work. And day three, I'm messaging the family being like, you know what? This is normal. This is exactly what we expect for day three. Day four is going to be different, okay? Like the day four is the turning point. Day four, I got a message of like, took 20 minutes for this toddler to fall asleep. And this toddler went from waking frequently in the night with explosive waking up the baby, crying and the whole thing, this toddler was up in the night, but did not come into the parents' room, wake the parents up and do the whole thing. The toddler, was up, did a few things all on her own that her parents mentioned the next day and went back to sleep. So what I consider a sleep through, okay? Took 3 days for that to happen. Okay, I work with families for a week and a half. The way we would want to break off this habit of parental presence to sleep, first thing we do is we put in some solid boundaries. So that's what we did for this family, which made such a difference just in the first 3 days. And then we're, gradually going to get this toddler used to falling asleep more without the parents present. Okay, so that's the key. And there's 2 strategies to go about this. And this is how I work with families. We talk about the strategies. We talk about what makes the most sense for their toddler with their toddler's temperament. We put a plan in place and we do check-in calls along the way, just in case it didn't go the way we thought and we wanted to switch the strategy, or maybe the parent felt like they didn't like the strategy and they felt like their toddler needed some changes. So this is what we do. So I just want to welcome anyone. If you have a toddler that's struggling with sleep and it's just like a nightmare and you just feel like, I don't know how it happened like this. Like, it's actually a quick thing to fix. These are actually mild sleep challenges if your toddler just wants you present in the room. There are ways that we can go about it, but I recognize that it's not simple. I recognize that there's no, parent manual that, addresses these things, but we can work together and we can put a plan in place to solve it. Okay? So it could just be a few days before, before you don't have to have this big struggle anymore. And this family is, 4 days in and they're like, wow, 9-day difference. So send me a DM, toddler, half package. If you're interested in this, only those with toddlers with mild sleep challenges will qualify for it, but it's a really great option because it is half the cost of my full package. Okay? If you have a toddler with major sleep challenges, let's get on a call too, right? You don't have to rock your baby or your toddler to sleep. That's not something that you need to do for forever. If they need to be fed in the night, they don't need it to fall asleep, right? These are habits that have formed that we don't have to keep on going with. And, these habits interfere with sleep, and we can just, break these habits off so they can sleep really well. Those are totally options. So send me a DM if this was helpful, or if you just have a comment about toddler sleep, feel free to post it below. I'll address all the comments below. And yeah, I hope you guys are enjoying your August. Okay, bye everyone.